St. Thomas English Medium Higher Secondary School, Class 7, Subject Computer by Richa Garg. Hello students, again I welcome you all to this classroom. Let's start with chapter number 9, Animation in Flash. Chapter number 9, Animation in Flash. Children, in this chapter we will study about the timeline and layers. We will study about animation with both motions and shape tweening. We will even study about using a masking layers. Then we will study about animation using a motion guide, and last we will study about applying filters. The timeline and layers. Now children, the timeline helps to organize the content of the Flash document. It contains layers for organizing the content of the stage. Children, you can see that the timeline shows frame as a series of rectangle in each layer. Every fifth frame has a light gray fill and the frame number. Frames with black dots are keyframes. The red rectangle in the header with a black frame and a red vertical lines below it indicates the play head. That is the frame currently on the stage. The frame rate shows the number of the frame per second your animation will play. Children, to insert a frame or keyframe, we have to click on a rectangular play holder where you want to insert a frame of keyframe. First, children, select insert, then timeline, then you will click on frame or insert timeline, then keyframe. Understanding layers. Now children, you can think of layers as transparent sheets stacked one on top of the others. Children, you can rearrange the orders of layers to set the orders of objects in the movies. That is, you can decide which object should appears first in the top layer and the which object appears later in the lower layer. Children, you can draw, edit and animate object in one layer without affecting the object on another layer. Children, each new movie contains a single layer by default, but you can add as many layers as you want. The timeline displays layers as row. It provides option to insert, lock or unhide a layer. Children, to select a layer, click on the layer name. Inserting a layer. Now children, to insert a layer, select the insert timeline layer or click the insert layer at the bottom of the timeline. Renaming a layer. Now children, to rename a layer, double click the layer name and type the new name. Changing the order of layers. Children, when images on different layers overlap, objects in a higher layer appears in front of the objects in layers below them. To change the order of the layers, click the name of the layer you want to move and drag it to the required position. Deleting a layer. Now children, when you delete a layer, you also delete all objects on the layer. To delete a layer, click the name of the layer and click the delete layer icon at the bottom of the timeline. Animation with motion tweening and shape tweening. Now children, in class 6 you already have learned how to create motion tweening and shape tweening animations separately. The example we will take up now will create an animation that includes both motion tweening and shape tweening. Now children, create a new Flash document, then rename layer 1 to line. Then children, click frame 1, select the brush tool, set fill color to blue and draw a small horizontal line. Children, add a new layer by clicking insert layer at the bottom of the timeline. Rename this new layer and give it the name brush. Now children, click frame 1 of the brush layer and draw a paint brush. Children, use the selection arrow to select the paintbrush by drawing a rectangle around it. Group it into a single object by selecting Modify Group. Use the free transform tool to rotate the group point brush drawing and position it so that the touches the right end of the blue line. Next, children, insert a keyframe in frame 40 of the line layer. Then we have to follow, that is, follow these steps to arrange the width of the blue line. First, children, use the selection tool to select the blue line. Then select window information to open the align and info transform panel. Then, children, type a width of 400 and hit enter. The line will become longer. Now, children, create a shape tween in the line layer. Select any frame between frame 1 and frame 40. In the property inspector, click the drop down menu arrow of the tween option and select shape. Now, children, select the brush layer and click on frame 40. Press F6 to insert a keyframe. Now, children, follow these steps to create a motion tween in the brush layer. Select frame 40. Use the free transfer tool to move the paintbrush to the end of the line. Now, children, select frame 40. Use the free transfer tool to move the paintbrush to the end of the line. Select any frame between frame 1 and frame 40 in the brush layer. In the property inspector, select motion under tween option. Save the movie. Play the movie by pressing or selecting control play. Using the onion skin feature. Now, children, the onion skin features lets you see the relative options of an object over several frames. Turn on the onion skin features by clicking the onion skin button at the bottom of the timeline window. Children, you can control the number of frames by dragging the start onion skin and onion skin markers in the timeline. Using a masking layer. Now, children, you can create spatial animation effect with the masking layer features. You can think of a mask layer as a curtain with a hole in it. The curtain hides the layer behind it except for the little bit you see through the hole. Okay, children? Animation using a motion guide. Now, children, animation using a motion guide, in that Flash allows you to move an object on a definite curved path. For this, you have to use something called a guide layer. The guide layer has a motion guide, which is the path along which the object will move. Now, children, let's take an example. Create a new Flash document. Rename layer 1 and give it the name car or butterfly, whichever. Click frame 1, select file, import to Sage, and import a picture of a car or butterfly. Click frame 30 and insert a keyframe by pressing F6. To create motion tween of the butterfly or car, click any frame between 1 and 30 and choose motion in the tween menu of the property inspector. Now, children, click add motion guide in the timeline window. This creates a motion guide layer above the butterfly layer. The name of this layer is guide, butterfly or car. When the guide, butterfly or car layer select, click the pencil tool and draw a path on the stage. Select the butterfly layer. Click any frame between frame 1 and frame 30. Click the snap checkbox in the property inspector. Selecting snap will snap the registration point of the object to the motion path. Now, children, with the butterfly layer still selected, click frame 1. Then place the butterfly on the path such that the registration point of the butterfly is exactly above the path, above the start of the path. Now, children, click frame 30 of the butterfly layer, or you can say car layer. Now, play the butterfly or car such that the registration point of the butterfly is exactly above the end of the path. Then hide the motion guide layer, save the file and play the movie. You will see the butterfly or car flying around the flight path you drew. Playing filters. Now, children, filters are inbuilt visual effects in Flash. There are different types of filters like bevel, glow, drop shadow, gradient glow, etc. You can apply more than one filter to an object. These are the steps to apply filters to next and animate it using motion tweens. Okay, children? Now children, let's move to exercise page number 129. 1. Fill in the blanks with the correct word. A dash is the basic unit of a flash movie. A frame is the basic unit of a flash movie. The dash help us to organize the content of a flash document. The timeline. C. The dash are like transparent sheets stacked one on top of the others layers. D1. By default, the number of layers in a movie is dash 1. E1. A dash layer hide the lower layer except for the part visible through a particular object, that is a mark. Question 2. Write T for the true statement and F for the false one. Correct the false statement. A. You can use the insert menu to insert a layer in a flash document. True. B. You cannot delete a flash layer. False. C. To rename a layer, you double click the layer name. True. D. You can press enter to place a flash movie. True. E. The flash layer should be the supermost layer. That is true. Question 3. Write one word for the following. The color of the dot on keyframes, that is a black. B1. The red rectangle with a vertical line in the timeline, that is a playhead. C1. The white rectangular area for working with the content of a flash movie, that is a stage. D1. The flash features that shows the relative position of an object over several frames. Onion skin. E1. The built-in visual effect for text in flash is filters. Question 5. Choose the correct options. A. What helps to organize the content of a flash document? 1. Timeline. 2. Scene. 3. Movie. 4. None of these. So it's 1. Timeline. B. What do you call the number of frames a flash movie display per second? 1. Playhead. 2. Keyframe. 3. Frame rate. 4. None of these. So it's 3. Frame rate. C1. What is the default name of the layer in a new flash document? 1 layer, 1, 2 layer, 3 new layer, 4 none of these, so it's 3 new layer. D1. Where on the timeline is the insert layer button? 1 button, 2 top, 3 left, 4 right. So it's 1 button. E1. Which menu has the command to convert an object or objects into a group? 1 insert, 2 modify, 3 edit, 4 none of these. So it's 1 insert. F1. Which of the following buttons is available in the timeline window? 1 insert, 2 lock, 3 delete, for all of these. So it's 1 insert. What key do you press to insert a keyframe? 1 F6, 2 F7, 3 Control plus F, 4 none of these. So it's 1 F6. H1. What is the shortcut key to convert an object into a symbol? 1 F6, 2 F7, 3 F8, 4 none of these. So it's 3 F8.